Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chronicles of Human History. Today, we embark on a journey through time to uncover how a simple postcard changed the course of history. Yes, you heard that right. A postcard. What if I told you that this inexpensive piece of paper, often used to send greetings, sparked a movement that reshaped society? It's one of those stories that make you stop and marvel at history's unpredictability. But before diving in, let's set the stage. Our journey takes us back to the early 1900s, specifically in Great Britain. Picture it: bustling streets filled with horse-drawn carriages, women adorned in Edwardian fashion, and towering smokestacks defining the industrial skyline. Beneath this modern yet unequal society, there simmered a rising tide of frustration among women. This frustration was born out of oppression, disenfranchisement, and denied rights. Women had no right to vote, no voice in politics, and limited opportunities to shape a world that confined them. It was a design meant to keep half the population in check, and the walls of this cage were about to crack thanks to one postcard. In 1906, suffragist Christabel Pankhurst and her cohorts within the Women's Social and Political Union were ramping up their efforts. Known for their motto, "Deeds, not words," they were anything but conventional. Campaigning for suffrage had primarily been an affair of polite persuasion before, with speeches, rallies, and essays. While such efforts were praiseworthy, results were sporadic. Pankhurst and her compatriots believed a louder and more visible strategy was essential. Their methods sometimes involved acts that crossed into civil disobedience, with protests, parades, and, famously, chaining themselves to Parliament's gates. But how does one create awareness for such a contentious cause in an era without social media, viral hashtags, or even widespread radio broadcasts? Surprisingly, the answer was an item you could hold in the palm of your hands: a postcard. This wasn't just any postcard, though. It bore an image, a strikingly simple yet boldly defiant design of a suffragette woman holding a banner that screamed, "Votes for Women." Beneath the slogan was more than words. It was a call to action, a challenge to tradition, and a rallying cry for freedom and equality. The beauty of using postcards can't be understated. They were an inexpensive medium that anyone could send or receive. Unlike formal publications, postcards had an intimate touch. They arrived directly at one's home, nestled within mundane mail deliveries. These weren't lengthy manifestos or academic arguments. They were succinct and artistic punches that drew eyes, sparked conversations, and provoked thought. Ironically, the innovation seemed quaint, but had far-reaching ripples. The postcard's popularity soared among suffragettes, who recognized its potential as a grassroots weapon. They created dozens of designs. Some featured caricatures mocking the status quo, while others showcased powerful messages and dignified portrayals of women striving for change. Suffragette storeholders sold these cards during rallies, raising funds for the cause, but also ensuring these ideas traveled farther than any single protest could. In one compelling example from 1907, a postcard design staged an artistic showdown. On one side, a well-groomed suffragette; on the other, a disheveled, disinterested man. The caption below asked, "Why the vote for him, but not for her?" It left little room for ambiguity and struck directly at the absurdity of disenfranchisement. These postcards were ingenious because they brought the conversation into homes and workplaces. They simmered beneath the surface of casual exchanges until inevitably boiling into widespread debates. By 1910, these cards had become an essential part of the movement, and their impact was impossible to ignore. Whether by design or by accident, they fueled discourse among men and women alike. Even those who had never attended a rally or picked up a suffragist newspaper found themselves engaged after receiving or seeing one of these cards. In many households, a single postcard bearing suffragist propaganda led to heated discussions across dining tables, introducing ideas that might have otherwise remained elusive. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Naturally, these postcards upset the social order, particularly among those who clung tightly to the status quo. Authorities and anti-suffragist groups attempted suppressing this unconventional tactic. Legal restrictions banning certain postcards claimed they were obscene, while anti-suffrage campaigns launched their own cards aimed at discrediting the women's movement. One rather infamous anti-suffragist postcard mocked suffragettes as neglectful mothers or declared absurdities like, "Women belong in the home, not in politics." Despite these challenges, the suffragettes persevered. The postcard acted as a microcosm of their larger struggle, small, seemingly inconsequential against the main forces stacked against them. But countless postcards combined, each carrying its message, overcame barriers. Soon, the postcards became symbols of an unstoppable wave, and that wave eventually swept through cultural and legislative corridors. By 1918, the Representation of the People Act was passed in Britain, enfranchising women over the age of 30 who met specific qualifications. This marked a tremendous step forward and was undeniably influenced by years of strategic campaigning where postcards played a quiet yet crucial role. A broader suffrage movement culminated in 1928 with full voting rights granted to women in Britain on equal terms to men. So, what, you may ask, is the takeaway from all this? Perhaps it's that the tools of change are not always grand or monumental. Sometimes they're ordinary. In this case, a small rectangular piece of cardstock wielded enormous power because it carried a bigger idea. It acted as a bridge, connecting individuals to a movement and fueling one of the 20th century's most significant transformations. And its legacy reaches far. Even today, the strategies behind these postcards remain instructive. Grassroots communication often begins on personal levels, whether through physical elements like postcards or through modern equivalents such as tweets, memes, and influencer campaigns. They remind us that revolutions rarely start with monumental explosions, but rather with small sparks, each as ordinary as that postcard, until the fire becomes too large to ignore. That, my friends, is the story of the postcard that started a movement. It's a reminder that history is often written not by swords or cannons, but by ideas and their ability to travel. So, as you write your own stories and chase your own causes, remember that even your smallest actions can ripple through time, sometimes in unexpected, extraordinary ways. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Chronicles of Human History, because the past is full of tales just waiting to be told. Until next time, keep discovering, questioning, and seeking those sparks that change the world.